It was small, barely there, gold with a single dull diamond tucked into a setting so subtle you'd only notice it if you were looking for it. I found it in the pocket of her coat while reaching for my gloves. It wasn't a ring I recognized. Certainly not one I'd given her. I didn't touch it, just stared for a long time while something inside me began to hollow out. She was in the shower, humming something cheerful, carefree. A tune that didn't belong to a moment like this. A song that sounded like betrayal, if betrayal could laugh. I slid the ring back into her coat where I'd found it, hung it up exactly how she left it, said nothing, smiled at dinner like the world still made sense. It didn't. Not anymore. Not after the funeral. Not after the inheritance. Not after she called my grandfather's house a rotting box of mold and failure. Not after she shoved the keys into my hand and pushed me out like trash. The house was waiting, tilted, crooked, heavy with decay. It leaned like it was tired of standing, but didn't know how to fall. I stepped over the threshold and felt the air change, thick, damp, saturated with memory. And then something cracked beneath my shoe. A floorboard. I knelt, pulled it up. Beneath it, a rusted tin wrapped in old waxcloth. Inside were letters. The handwriting was frail, but clear. My name written on the topmost one. And something else. A photo. My mother. My brother. My grandfather. No father. No me. The letters were dated before I was born. They weren't written to me. They were about me, over and over. One line repeated like a confession burned into page. He can't know. My mother's name. My grandfather's words. The lies stitched between them. The pieces locked into place like a cruel joke. The city apartment, the money, the real inheritance. It was never meant for me. It went to the firstborn. The son with blood that matched. Not the second. Not the stray. Not the secret. She never knew. My wife, she thought I was just unlucky. A disappointment waiting to become something worthwhile. When she realized that I wasn't going to be more, she dropped me like expired goods. She didn't love me. She loved the potential. Until it disappeared. But the house, crumbling as it was, gave me something better than comfort. It gave me truth. I stayed. Told her nothing. Let her assume I was licking my wounds in shame. She messaged me a week later. Short, sharp, when are you selling the house? I didn't reply. Instead, I checked our phone records. She never changed her password. She never believed I'd look. 2 hours after she pushed me out, she made a call. 22 minutes. To a number saved as M. My brother. I dialed it. He answered casually, too casually. Hey, babe. I hung up without a word. Sat in the dark of the house, breathing the damp air, hands still, heart louder than anything. The next day, I drove to the city, parked across the street from their building. I saw them through the window. No kisses, no embraces, but the kind of quiet between them that only comes when there's nothing left to confess. I didn't confront them. Not then. I gathered evidence. Photos, timestamps, phone records. Not for revenge, for clarity. I wanted the whole truth before I laid it bare. Then I returned, with the tin box, the letters, the photo. She opened the door and looked surprised. You look better, she said. I nodded and handed her the box. Read it. She opened it, started flipping through the letters. At first she was confused. Then the confusion turned to fear. What is this? She asked. I didn't answer. The last item was a photo, the one that said everything without needing a caption. She didn't need to finish reading. She looked at me, her voice barely audible. You already knew, before you left. I didn't deny it. She dropped the box. It landed with a thud of something that had been hidden too long. I turned to leave. The elevator opened. My brother stepped out. He saw me, froze. Hey! I handed him the phone. One voicemail queued up. His voice on it. His lie. His face drained. You set this up. I didn't bother to smile. Later, we sat in her kitchen. The two of them across from me. Not touching. Not speaking. The tension between them like concrete. I placed the will on the table. The letters, the call logs, the photos, the timeline. I just needed to know, I said quietly. Now you're both free. Free to lie to each other instead of me. She reached for my hand. You don't understand. I pulled away before she could touch me. I understand too well. My brother opened his mouth. We didn't mean for it to happen. I let out a small laugh. Not angry. Not kind. Just a breath of disbelief. That's your last lie. At least to me. I stood, walked out, left the ring, the papers, the truth, left them sitting in what used to be my home. No slammed door. No last words. Just silence. I live in the old house now. Not because it's home. Because it's honest. Its broken bones don't pretend. Its quiet doesn't lie. I left the city like a skin I no longer needed. People ask if I miss her. I tell them this. I miss who I thought she was. But I don't miss being lied to, and I don't forgive it. I sleep better now in this ruin of wood and memory than I ever did in the life they built on my back.